So Nick Fuentes had a lot to say about black people, and I'm not gonna go on too long. Just jump right into it. Let's go.
Do you know that everybody thinks that if we snapped our fingers and you all disappeared tomorrow, everybody thinks our quality of life would go up? Do you realize that? I'm just saying it, everyone's thinking it. When we think of what's wrong with Chicago, it's like utopia. Chicago's like a utopia. You know what the one problem is that's driving richer residents from the city? It's the crime. It's the chaos. It's the violence. And you know what demographic is almost exclusively responsible for it? It's you. It's black people.
Right, black people. So he said crime and chaos in the world is basically, is ruining everybody's life and everybody's world is black people. Is a handful of black people. So he stereotyped all black people in America. Basically, he said black people. He didn't say some black people. He didn't get specific. He basically painted all black people with a broad brush. Now, they may roll it back and be like, oh, but some of them are okay. Well, you already did it. You already painted black people with a broad brush. And then you might say, well, some of them are okay. But look at what happens when they're going to turn around on that guy, Officer Tatum, right? He wants to disagree with them, so they turn on him, right? They totally spit in the face of black people, and to the point where even he can't defend it. So then they go after him, which shows you what kind of evil people they are. I mean, you're dealing with people talk about their heritage. Their heritage is wickedness and evil. They have a wicked, evil heritage, right? And he talks about crime and chaos. I don't know. You get the black people that you deserve, right? He always talking about nigger. Nigger is in the Bible, right? The word nigger in the Bible, where nigger comes from, niggard, it means a person who causes someone else to fail. Nobody is more of a nigger than white people, because white people have caused black people to fail. So the real niggers are actually white people. If you look at the genocide in Gaza, you got over 100,000 people killed. Who caused that? Black people? Did black people kill 100,000 people in Chicago and run an apartheid state? No, white people did that. Right? White people that Nick Fuentes would try to separate himself from and say, well, they're not white like me. No, they are white like you. Benjamin Netanyahu is from Poland. That is a European country. They are white people. Let's, stop the bullshit. Right? He said, if you ask people, who's the problem? They would say it's black people causing all the problems in the world. What people are you trying to ask? American Indians? I mean, if we ask the American Indians who has fucked up their life, if you went down to a reservation and said, listen, you on this reservation down here, right? Your people have been decimated in this country. Your numbers are, very low. A lot of poverty, decimation, resource theft. The black people cause this, or white people? The American Indians would say white people would cause the chaos and the death and the genocide and the theft and the robbery in their life on a national scale, right? On an international scale. But if you ask Nick Fuentes and this white man on this podcast, they said it's black people. Let's continue.
Who's the biggest threat to America? Who are the most dangerous people in America? Black people. No, it's not. It's these blue-head leftist nut jobs are the most dangerous people in America.
Nick Fuentes went off on black people again, and the black conservative influencer Brandon Tatum did not like it. He tweeted, "What a racist weirdo." And even Brandon's own followers and commenters are pushing back against him, pushing back against Nick Fuentes. It's Sean Daniel here. Before we get into Nick's full explanation and then Brandon's or the Officer Tatum's full response. Let me know down below who you agree with more just based off the intro. Now let's go.
White people are every single bit justified in being racist. Every single bit justified, to the extent that that means going out of your way to avoid black people when you see them. Every bit justified. And you want to know why? Because we see what happens. And nobody is under any obligation due to liberal ideology to put themselves in harm's way.
But you know what's funny? Nobody can avoid white people. He said white people go out their way to avoid black people. When? Did white people go out their way to avoid American Indians? Did they go out their way to avoid the slaves? Did they go out their way to avoid... They in Africa right now, in South Africa, they won't leave. White people took over South Africa, come different places, Zimbabwe, and they won't leave Africa. Right? But he said white people was going out of their way to stay away from black people and Indians or whatever, non-white people. Where? Where is this occurring other than in Nick Fuentes' wicked, nasty, demonic imagination? In his, anti-black, racist imagination. Where have they avoided? They now you want to avoid black people? No, you motherfucker, you are getting the black people that you deserve. These are the motherfuckers, babies from slavery and Jim Crow that y'all created. This is the mad part of the madness that y'all created. You don't get to say, well, now I don't want no parts of this. That you're avoiding black people. Where are you avoiding black people at is the question. In Africa, you're not even avoiding black people in Africa because y'all in Africa, as I just said. So these people are maniacs. White people are insane. It doesn't matter if they're blue-haired liberals like this black coon says, right? Or like this character Fuentes and this guy on this little, YouTube page. He goes on to say, I got black friends, I got black guys I hang around with. Who the fuck in there right now will hang around you? What kind of self-hating, right? Self-denigrating, no self-respect black person will hang around Nick Fuentes with a guy in this video, but I digress. Let's continue.
If you're a white person and you're going to work or going to the ball game or going to the city at night, you don't want to enter into the terror dome where you're suddenly in a sudden death match. You're like in the gulag in Call of Duty fighting for your life all of a sudden because you got on the wrong train car. Because a car full of black people pulled up on you by the bus stop. You turn and you walk the other way. You avoid their neighborhoods. You avoid going out on Memorial Day or Labor Day weekend at night in certain places. When you see them, you start walking in the other direction. And we are every bit justified because we see what's going on and we don't want to die. It's that simple. That's pattern recognition. That's not racism. That's pattern recognition. That's one. And two, I really hope, because I'm rooting for black people, like I'm rooting for humanity. I'm rooting for everybody.
So he said he has pattern recognition, right? That he's talking about pattern recognition. I mean, there's a pattern when you come to a people country and commit genocide, right? In 1825, and then in 2025, you're committing a genocide in Palestine against Arabs, right? Or you're attacking Venezuelans in Venezuela with warships in 2025, right? Or you're bombing, doing airstrikes in Syria, or airstrikes in, but that doesn't count to them. When they send their military and they approve of them going places and killing people by the tens of thousands, that doesn't count as violence to them. But a couple of wild, young Negroes, beating the shit out of somebody on the train, well, all hell broke loose in the whole world to them. But he said he has pattern recognition. You see? And what they're noticing is a pattern amongst black people. You're getting the black people that you deserve, white people. Somebody should just tell you that. Why are you fucking complaining? These are the motherfuckers that you made. What's the problem? Right? You shipping billions of dollars to Israel, billions of dollars to everywhere in the world, right? But you refuse to rebuild the black communities in the United States after, Jim Crow and slavery. And now you're getting the black people you deserve from the poverty and the discrimination. And now you want to talk about, things, you got Negro fatigue. But nobody is fatigued by white people. Right? They everywhere. You go to Mexico, and they done fucked up the United States, and now they making videos about how they gotta go there. They done fucked up Canada, the US, Europe, and if you go to Mexico, or you go to Colombia, or you go some fucking where, here's a bunch of these saltines sitting around talking about how they had to get out of where they was at. Cause why? Cause you and your ancestors fucked it up. And you didn't get cut in the goods, so you at the bottom of the barrel, so now you down here fucking up, spreading racism, stereotypes, and white supremacy to people in South America. Or Africa somewhere. No accountability. Speaking of pattern recognition. Speaking of pattern recognition and no accountability. You done fucked up everything, and then instead of saying, wow, we really fucked this up, you sitting out Nick Fuentes to say, well, look at these niggas out here, it's their fault. Chaos, crime, blah, blah, blah. No, these are the niggas that you deserve. You niggard. And that's what white people are. A bunch of niggards who cause everybody else to fail and then turn around and blame those same people. It's disgusting. Let's continue.
To be safe and to be healthy and to be happy. I really hope that somewhere out there, although I'm not optimistic, black people are starting to develop some sense of self-awareness. Where's the shame? Aren't you people ashamed? When I see these clips of the graduation ceremonies where they're twerking on stage and dancing, when I see these videos of the black cheerleaders on the basketball court brawling it out, when I see the Carmelo Anthony, and not only that, but then they raise $500,000 for him and then they get a public defender. When I see that video of a black security guard rifling through the pockets of an unconscious white guy that got his ass kicked, and the list goes on and on and on. You have to ask the black people that are normally so proud, and with the chip on their shoulder, aren't you ashamed? Are you not ashamed when you see these things? Are there...
Black people are proud with a chip on their shoulder. He might as well say a bunch of uppity niggas, right? Might as well say black people a bunch of uppity niggas. I don't understand what this dude's problem is, other than the fact that they a bunch of racist Nazis trying to pretend that, they have some modicum of decency within them, humanity within them, which they don't. They just are heritage of wickedness and evil, right? He described some isolated incidents that he sees in impoverished areas, and then proceeds to blame all black people, right? So you find some isolated incidents of horrible activity, and then start painting black people with a broad brush. It is, speaking of pattern recognition, people with no accountability and self-awareness, that would be white people, the Antichrist. It's all inverted, it's upside down. People with no self-awareness, that would be white people, not black people. It's ridiculous. Let's continue.
any black people that see this and have the slightest lick of self-awareness, of common sense, of decency to say, are you not ashamed to see these scenes play out over and over again? Where's the accountability? And this is where that word fatigue comes in. We're just tired of seeing it. You see these...
When have they ever been accountable for what they did to blacks and Indians in America? Never. When? When have they ever been accountable and had self-awareness for what they did to blacks and Indians? I mean, they put up Confederate statues and, you know, tell you take down shit about slavery and Jim Crow and all this kind of shit. That happened a long time ago. Stop talking about it. Jim Crow happened a long time. Stop talking about it. You know, when all the people that affected, most of the people I know it affected is still alive. But then he'll come on TV and preach to black people about accountability and self-awareness while mocking you using a few, you know, using some isolated incidents, right? You get the black people you deserve. And then you want to complain? The fuck out of here.
Clips, and you know, every race of person, maybe except for most blacks, white, Chinese, Indian, Hispanic, and even liberals, see these clips and they say, are you surprised? They shake their heads. They say, yep. Usual suspects. They say, yep, that's about right. Are you not ashamed? And what?
That's a good question. Are they not ashamed? I mean, he brought up the video of all the black girls twerking at the graduation, all across the graduation stage. Black people, that didn't come from black people. That came from feminism, which was created by white people, which empowered women in general, and particularly black women, to be doing this kind of shit. Strong and independent. I don't need no man. We do whatever we want. That didn't come from the black community. That came from white men and white women who forced that on black people. Now you got a bunch of, you know, hyenas running across the stage twerking. That wasn't black men, that was women. That activity came from feminism. You didn't see black women doing that prior to the feminist movement. The feminist movement didn't come from black people, it came from white people. That's why I said, you get the niggas that you deserve. You're creating these crazy black Negroes and Negresses, and then when shit goes south, they want to say, "Oh, look at these wayward, you know, Negroes everywhere." I'm not just saying that when I say, you know, speaking of pattern recognition, white people are getting the niggas they deserve. They created this mess. And he's just digging a hole for himself every time he says something. Like when he brought up the black bitches twerking all over the stage. That came from feminism, which is a white created thing, not a black thing, which they brought into black communities and created havoc. I mean, that's just a fact. I mean, I don't know nobody would say black women created feminism and black men created feminism. If you didn't see black men up there twerking on the stage. So let's break this down, like where this shit is really coming from. It's them.
When are black people going to turn that around? I'm so sick of, and I think all of society is sick of, hearing about all these excuses. And even the conservative blacks will give them, like Jason Whitlock is a perfect example. When I gave a similar monologue about Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony, Jason Whitlock, who's a black conservative at the Blaze, said that this is a demonic sentiment. He said the problem is a lack of Christianity or something or other. The problem is a lack of accountability. And I think a lot of black people hide behind these various things, whether it's the liberals that say it's slavery and racism, or it's the conservatives, and they blame it on welfare, or hip-hop, or the Great Society. It starts with you. It starts with every individual black person making choices, like we all do. Who's raising these fucking people? Who's raising these people? It's other black people. It's baby mamas and baby daddies. I mean, who's perpetuating this? And who does it benefit to make these excuses and to say it's everybody else? So I see this stuff and look, yeah, we are going to call it out. We, the Americans, we the white people of America, we the peaceful, law-abiding, tax-paying people of America are saying, hey, blacks, get your shit together. Get your fucking shit together. We are fucking tired of you. We are tired of seeing this stuff. It always seems to be you. Do you know that, and I'm just expressing what is a common sentiment. Do you know that everybody thinks that if we snapped our fingers and you all disappeared tomorrow, everybody thinks our quality of life would go up? Do you realize that?
Let me stop him right there, because everybody actually, speaking of self-awareness, feel that about white people. If you went to an Indian reservation right now in 2025 and asked an old Indian dude, do you think if you had never come in contact with white people, your quality of life would be better? He would say, fuck yeah, because I still have my land and wealth and resources. And my family wouldn't have been genocided by white people. There's nobody that ever came in contact with white people who is doing better. I'm just saying, let's just go around the world. Name one fucking group of people. He said, if you snap your fingers and got rid of black people, the whole world would be better. Really? If you snap your fingers and got rid of, okay, let's do the Thanos snap with white people. I just snapped. All white people are gone. Right? The Indians will have their land. Black people wouldn't have been in slavery. They would have been in Africa. There would be no white people in Africa anywhere. Right? There would be no white people in South America anywhere. In Mexico. In Hawaii. In Puerto Rico. There would be no white people in the Philippines. There would be no North and South Korea, because the white people wouldn't have caused the war that caused the split in North and South Korea. There would have never been the Chinese, the wars in China. Right? There would be no white people in Palestine right now causing a genocide. If I did the Thanos snap, when they were all gone, all white people was gone, just like that. Like he said, all black people should be gone. Every horrible thing in the world, Jimmy, that ever happened, would have never happened. It would be over right now. You see? Everything. I just went over it. That fast. Thanos snap, like he said. If I could snap my fingers and get rid of all black people, if I could snap my fingers and get rid of all white people, it would literally solve all the problems in the world that have ever existed. Literally. It's the opposite of what this devil said. These people, because you know why? Because they descend from the Antichrist. They descend from a lineage of evil and wickedness. So everything they say is inverted. It's the opposite. I just proved it. Where is the line what I said? I just took what he said and I turned it on his head. Right? If you snap your fingers and got rid of all the white people, there would be no skin bleaching in Africa. There would be no white pictures of white Jesus in South America, all over Mexican walls and all over Colombian walls. Right? In Central American walls. There would be no pictures of white Jesus anywhere in the whole world. All the black people, the biggest black population outside of Africa is in Brazil. That wouldn't exist if you got rid of all the black people, all of the white people, I mean. That would have never happened. Only thing would be in Brazil is just the indigenous Indian people. might be dark skinned, but it would be no so-called descendants of slavery in Brazil or America or the Caribbean. The Taino Indians in Puerto Rico would still be there. It wouldn't have been no slaves except the ones that came over to hang out with them. The black people there, except the ones that came over to visit. And maybe intermarried with them and was their friends. And was guests and became their friends. It wouldn't have been, black people wasn't going around the world taking over. They didn't invade, they were, invading America. I believe they did the same thing in India. You wouldn't have to try to get India back from the British. But he tell you, black people is the problem if you snap your fingers. It doesn't add up. And when you start to really compare what he's saying to facts and reality, you realize it's them, it's not black people. You get the niggas that you deserve. Stop complaining. And you've been getting off easy. White people really been getting off easy. The shit that been happening to them is not what should have happened to them. Some white man getting the shit beat out of him in Cincinnati, right? Or some random event is the least of what should happen to them. Based on the shit that they've done to people. They killed 100 million blacks in the United States. They killed 77 million Indians. And you talking about violence and chaos? That's it. The best thing you got is a few motherfuckers twerking on the stage and fighting, at a festival or some shit. And the little bullshit that been going on, some ghetto hood rat, violence. Pookie robbed a 7-Eleven and shot somebody. Or some bullshit like that's the best you got. That's the least of what you should have got, motherfucker. What are you talking about? And then y'all turn around and go genocide Gaza and genocide, you bombing Africa, etc., etc. And they're complaining. And all you got was Martin Luther King and some wayward Negroes. Give me a break.
I'm just saying that everyone's thinking it. When we think of what's wrong with Chicago, it's like utopia. Chicago's like a utopia. Beautiful riverfront, beautiful lakefront, concerts in the park, ball games in the park, beautiful architecture, the best food. You know what the one problem is with Chicago that's driving the businesses out of the Magnificent Mile? You know what the one problem is that's making the public transit unusable? You know what the one problem is that's driving richer residents from the city? It's the crime. It's the chaos. It's the violence. And you know what demographic is almost exclusively responsible for it? It's you. It's black people. Everyone's thinking that. Everyone's fucking sick of it.
A lot of what Nick Fuentes just said is what a lot of us are thinking, but we can't say it. We feel like we're not allowed to say it. It's not politically correct. It might be deemed as racist. But a lot of us are thinking it, including the viewers and commenters on Brandon Tatum's video. This guy says pattern recognition isn't racism in response to Brandon, which we're going to watch in a second. I gotta be honest with you. He's saying everything most white people are scared to say. He's not saying every black person, Brandon. He's talking about the ones that act the way he's talking about.
He said black people.
Nick Fuentes speaks 100% facts about.
Right, he said black people, right? And he basically was painting black people with a broad brush. And then this guy tries to clean it up a little bit. If you listen to what he was saying, he made very little distinction about a black person, random black person committing crime. He was just black people. It's you. It's black people. It's all of you people. It's black people. That's all he kept saying. He wasn't. We can play the tape back. You stopped the tape when he made a distinction between, he made a feel like one distinction in while he ran it for a fucking hour about how bad black people. It's you, black people. I'm not saying all of you, but it's black people. So really he made very little distinction, if any. far as I'm concerned. He out of pocket. But what I would tell them is, if you want some free smoke, you can get it. Don't troll on the internet. If you got that much of a problem, do something. That's what I would tell you. If any of them, he said, we all feel like that. Chinese people, blah, 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 the Mexicans, and this person. Well, why y'all not doing nothing? If it's that much of a problem for you, do something about it. Don't troll on the internet. Let me see you do something. Because I don't got no problem. I ain't going no motherfucking where. I ain't running to Kenya. I ain't going to fucking nowhere. I ain't going no motherfucking where, and I ain't hard to find. I walk around, I don't see them act like they want no smoke. They may come on the internet and act like they want some smoke and rant for an hour like these two ass clowns. Well, that's about it. Collectively, I don't really see them doing nothing if they that upset about it. But let's listen to the rest of this foolishness.
Black people. I know. The truth hurts. Now here's the kicker one. I'm black and I agree with Nick. Why do you think successful black people don't live in black neighborhoods? When Tupac pointed out how blacks act, we agree. But when someone white says it, we can't see they're telling the same truth. So what did Brandon say in his response to Nick Fuentes that caused all these regular viewers and commenters to push back on him? A lot of the reason people were pushing back on Brandon after feeling like they were almost seen by what Nick Fuentes was saying and how he was relating to something they were feeling but they didn't feel like they could actually say. And the reason they then pushed back on Brandon, which we're going to see in a second, is because he got too statistical, too practical, too exactly scientific with breaking down exactly how often you're interacting with black people. Are they good? Are they not? Versus just relating to how people feel, which is interesting because that's kind of what liberals do. When you debate a liberal, they want to break down stats, information, studies, all these things to dissipate how you feel based on your real world experience. And that's
so he said how you feel about black people, if you dislike black people, is more important than actually was the truth. How you feel. Basically, if you feel like, you know, really it's just racism, right? Anti-black racism. He said real world experience. What the fuck are you talking? Black people is 13% of the population. How much real world experience could every single white person be having that's that negative? I'm just curious. He said, oh, don't give me nothing about no statistics and numbers. We just feel this way. Fuck your feelings. Fuck your saltine ass feelings. How about that? I don't give a fuck about your feelings, you or your mother or your family. Fuck all y'all, right? Particularly when you telling me you don't give a fuck about statistics and numbers and the actual truth. You just care about how you feel about disliking black people. And then you say, well, maybe not all of them. He goes on to say, I play basketball with a couple of dudes. They okay. Man, fuck you. After you said all that fucked up shit, and then turn around and be like, I got one or two black people they're okay with me, but you know, most of them motherfuckers is a problem. What? That's the most racist, stereotypical shit that I've ever heard. But if you want to do that, we can do that. Because it wouldn't make me no difference if I never saw another white person again. Actually. Factually. It doesn't make me a fucking difference. Call it racist, call it what you want. Nobody. They don't make my motherfucking day. Like, oh God, I'm so glad I saw you. Like the butler in Django. I mean, give me a break.
a lot of people felt with what Brandon was saying, which was interesting because a lot of times he's very, very real about black people, positively and negatively. But a lot of these comments that we're getting, they're not a broken down science of the exact amount of black people that do this and do that and the exposure we have to black people, how many percentage of black people in the U.S. It's how we feel. It's how a lot of people feel a lot of times. Now, it doesn't mean every time. It doesn't mean with all black people. But that is an overwhelming sentiment based on real world experience and feeling, not scientific data. Now, what was that breakdown and data that Brandon wants to lay out? Let's hear.
I think that Nick Fuentes is 100% true, or telling 100% truth for certain black people. Like, if you've ever lived in America long enough to be around different groups of people, live in diverse cities, you realize this is not most black people. But it is sections of black communities and experiences that people are having with black people like this. I think black people do this more than anybody else do it per capita, but this is not every black person is like this. If you go into an IHOP, like we went to IHOP when we were in Orlando, Florida, the black people in there were ghetto, but they were nice, they were respectful, some of the best service that we've had. Not every black person that's in the hood is a bad person. I grew up in the hood. Most black people in the hood don't like the black people that are acting up. Most black people in the hood are not acting up. It's the ones that act up get the most attention. It's the ones that's going up the shoulder like this that people remember. But they don't remember all the other black people that are sitting in traffic with. They just remember the one flying up the bankment. They go to Mardi Gras or go to, not Mardi Gras, but the Cincinnati Brawl. It's probably 40,000 black people out there. But they remember the ones who are beating up this white lady. And that's not every black, that's these knuckleheads. And I think that Nick Fuentes is 100% correct when it comes to the ends. N-words act like this. N-words are rude. N-words give you bad service. Ns do this stuff. Black people don't act like this. And I think Nick Fuentes is an example, in my opinion, of a person who only have a certain amount of experiences with black people, not the totality of how black people operate. He's never been in a neighborhood where black people are normal. He's probably experiencing black people hood, thug, N-words. And then now he's saying black people are like this. Most people interaction with black people are negative. I don't know if that's true if you live in Arizona, if you live in Las Vegas, if you live in California. Most of your negative interactions are.
What are you talking about? Nick Fuentes was hanging around Kanye West, who's a billionaire, and they're making blanket statements about black people. And they let him get away with this. Right? They let him get away with this, and he's a bitch. He's not built like that. You let him just sit around and talk like that and then come around you and work for you. I mean, you can see these people can't be trusted. You can see the double speak, right? Where it almost hurt them to say, to try to act, to be even-handed and say, not all black people. I mean, the Negro almost literally said, most black people, well, they're not all black. I mean, it's horrible. Now, he's one of their Negroes. This Officer Tatum dude is he's like a black pet, right? He's a black pet, basically. And they're having problems getting him in line. You see? Because he gonna say, yes sir, boss, you right. Whatever you say, you 100% right. Even he feels degraded by what these saltines are saying. So he's trying to push back, but it's too late for that. It's too late for the coon train to try to jump off the coon train. And you notice they're not allowing that. They're not allowing him to push back, as you can see by the white dude that made this video. You got to be 100% on board with whatever they say, or you done. That's at work, at school, politics, you name it. You either do what they say, or they won't go for your throat, stab you in the back. That's all of them. I had this discussion with some guys on the panel. You have no allies if you're a so-called black person, particularly if you're a black American descendant of slaves. You have no allies. You just have the two people you see on the screen, and Nick Fuentes. These are your so-called allies. I mean, if you're an intelligent person with, any sense of self-respect. How the fuck would you want to deal with any black people, number one, like Tatum, and number two, like that white dude, like these two white dudes, Fuentes and this white man? I mean, would you let them sit in your face and you know, rant like this, and then be like, come on, man, let's go grab a beer. Yeah, let's go grab that to telling you, you know, how bad black people are. Right? But if you set up and ran into him about racist as saltines and slavery and Jim Crow discrimination, etc., they wouldn't want to be your friend and go nowhere with you after that. Right? Come on, buddy, you know, after you rant, like do a Nick Fuentes, you know, reverse rant on their ass for an hour. Then hit some shit like, well, you know, at least you one of the good ones. Come on, Tom Kowalski, let's go grab a brew. He gonna look at you like, nigga, if you don't get out of here. But you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to sit here and watch them rant at the job or online or whatever. He talking about, we all feel like that. But you one of the good ones and not you. I wasn't talking about you. Right? He wasn't talking about you until you disagree with him. That's like the white man you see on the screen and Nick Fuentes. The whole, they thought, oh, well, you know, there's a couple of good ones like Kanye over here, right? You okay until you disagree with them. Then it'll be, you're just like the rest of these niggers. Right? That's how that is. With people like that. Let me play a little bit more of this.
Not just black people. But if you're Nick Fuentes and you live in like Detroit somewhere, then maybe you'll think differently. If you live, like for instance, let's give an example. Most white people live around white people. Most black people live around black people. To be honest, most white people don't have that much of engagement with black people as much as they do with white people. Same thing with black people. When I was growing up in a black neighborhood, we never seen white people unless they're cops or crackheads. We were living our own life like this. And white people never really mess with black people like that. And a lot of the crossover are decent black people going to work and doing stuff like that. Not the ends. And so I just put it in perspective. I think that Nick Fuentes have what we call black fatigue. Like his experiences with black people have been negative. So he think that majority of black people act like this.
Brandon makes good points though. It's very true if you break it down to the exact thinking of how many black people are white people exposed to, how most black people hang out with black people. Most white people hang out with white people. He's thinking through what to say, and it's impressive. I mean, he's been speaking for years publicly. He's got to watch what he says. He's got big access to big conferences, big brands. So he's got to think through what he's saying, not think as freely or speak as freely, in my opinion, as a Nick Fuentes might. But he's making a lot of sense. But Nick is not speaking based on an exact breakdown of how many people he's ran into that were black, how many people he's ran into that are white, an exact amount. He's speaking an overall experience, like me and you.
How the fuck you have an overall experience when you don't know all black people overall? I mean, this is just illogical on so many levels, right? I mean, it doesn't make. That's what I'm saying about them. It's very ridiculous. It goes back into the ridiculous racist bullshit. He's speaking overall. Overall what? Do you know what the fuck the word overall means? How you gonna have an overall experience? Speaking of you have an overall experience and you only met, 10 motherfuckers. You're like, yeah, overall, I say all white people is bad. I ain't met all white people. So I can't say overall all white people is bad. I may say I suspect there's issues with a lot of them. But I can't say overall all white people is bad. Fuck, I ain't met overall. I've been around all white people to say that. If you understand the definition of overall. My overall experience with white people went bad. How many white people, have you had a bad experience with directly? And you say, well, in my lifetime, 20. Okay, well, then it's billions of white people in the world. So you can't use overall in that sense. But this is white people for you. They try to make the illogical sound logical. Right? I'm not, you know what? I'm gonna end this. I'm not gonna play no more of this. I think I proved the point. You know what I'm saying? It's about, it might be 5 or 10 minutes left on that video, but it's the same shit. Him saying goofy shit, right? Basically, it's just him saying goofy shit. So I'm gonna wrap that. But yeah, I think it speaks for itself. You know what I mean? I think they just, and then the city said about black fatigue. I gotta speak on that. People got white fatigue. The American Indians got white fatigue. Who got more fatigue than an American Indian? Do a white man got more fatigue against, do we have, or do an American Indian got fatigue against white people who stole their land and genocided their whole fucking families? Do the nigger in America, should he have white fatigue after 400 years of slavery, 100 years of Jim Crow and apartheid? You would think that the nigger got fatigue. Maybe that's why, like I said, you get the black people you deserve. What are you talking about? What do you mean white fatigue, black fatigue? No, people got white fatigue. That's why you see the niggers acting crazy. That's coming from white fatigue. That's why all the Indians on the plantation got alcoholism and then in poverty. That's why you got the drug war in Mexico. They got white fatigue. That's why you got 100,000 dead people in Gaza plus. They got white fatigue. Right? That's why in Africa they won't let them industrialize. Why? Because they got white fatigue in Africa. They got white fatigue in Iraq. They got white fatigue in Syria where they put the terrorists in charge. The white people killed the government, the people in the government, and put the terrorists in charge that work for them and their government. They got white fatigue. Who got more fatigue? White people or black people or other people on the planet? People got white fatigue on the whole planet. But then you get some dirty ass, wicked, nasty saltine jump up, I got black fatigue. I saw a video of some cracker smacking somebody and they get the shit beat out of them. So now I got white fatigue. I got black fatigue or something. You get the niggas that you deserve. Stop crying. You getting off easy everywhere around the world. White people getting off easy everywhere around the world. You're getting off easy in South Africa. You're getting off easy in America. You're getting off easy in the Gaza Strip in Palestine. You're getting off easy every fucking way in South America. You're getting off easy in the Philippines. You're getting off easy in Hawaii. You got off easy in Puerto Rico and in Mexico and in South America and in Canada where they still digging up 200 bodies of children underneath churches that these white people killed, raped, pillaged, and buried in the churches in 2025. You're still digging up bodies. But you got black fatigue. What about the rest of the planet? What about everybody else? They don't got no fatigue? The niggas that you seeing that's fucked up is the ones you fucked up. You getting the niggas that you deserve. What are you crying about? The fuck you think we got? What you think the whole planet, like if Jesus said, if you make me tell these men to be quiet, then the rock shall cry out. The whole goddamn planet got white fatigue and is crying out to God. Not that he snapped his fingers and get rid of black people, but that he snapped his fingers and get rid of your asses, to be honest. That's what the whole earth is crying out for. Truth be told, since he said that's what we all thinking, well, that's what the whole earth is really thinking. But I just said it. So, but anyway, that's all I got.